Hello, my name is Megha Ramanathan, and today we will be talking about paving the road to inclusive relapse prevention treatments by focusing on the influence of adverse childhood experiences. Before we begin, I'd like to talk about why this topic is so important and what past research has been done on it. In 2016, approximately 21 million people over the age of 12 were recorded to have some sort of substance abuse disorder, yet only 18% received the treatment that they needed. It's important to research this topic because understanding the why it happens can help us understand what the best course of treatment would be. Our past research focused on the neurobiological changes caused by adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, and how that affects the prevalence and the likelihood of alcoholism and relapse later in life. What we found is the two subjects are correlated and that they affect the brain in a similar way. Yet it's unclear whether or not ACEs can be considered a predictor of alcohol abuse. Regarding the brain, what we found is there are changes in the prefrontal cortex, the basal ganglia, and the amygdala for both adverse childhood experiences and alcoholism. What this means, these changes in the brain are correlated to impulsivity, addictive behaviors, and instability. What we want to focus on here today is, can the prevalence of ACEs resulting in neurobiological changes be used clinically to predict relapse rates in patients with alcohol abuse disorder? So the way we'd want to do this is we would want to find an addiction clinic willing to let us use their patients, and we would want to run a retrospective review by surveying the patients regarding their relapse and their possible adverse childhood experiences. From there, we would want to decide whether or not we want to pull their medical notes in order to look at certain brain imaging upon their admission into this clinic. So the way we would run the retrospective review is we'd split them up into three groups: those who have not relapsed, those who've relapsed with ACEs, and those who've relapsed without ACEs. The point of doing this is then we would focus in on the relapse patients, and we would want to see if there is a prevalence as to whether or not there is ACEs. In other words, are those with adverse childhood experiences more likely to relapse? We would also want to look at the brain images and hire a radiologist to do so. We would want to compare the two brain images of those who've relapsed. So the variable here is whether or not they have adverse childhood experiences. If there is a difference between the two brain images, then we could be onto something here, and that could affect, we could potentially have a better understanding of why relapse occurs with these individuals. The cost of this study would be approximately $20,000 due to sample size, the incentives to take the survey, data collection methods such as the statistical analysis, the survey, and hiring a radiologist to look at the brain imaging, and compensating the clinic for allowing us to use their patients. This study is very important because understanding why certain relapses occur can help us create a more individualized plan to prevent it from happening and help these people on the road to recovery. Thank you.